Hello everyone, this is Akang Suman here. Now we are going to study epicyclic gear train. We have covered simple, compound and the reverted gear train. Now finally we will study the epicyclic gear train. What is the meaning of epicyclic gear train? See, apart from the rotation of the gears, if any other gear axis is in rotation with respect to some other gear axis, then it is known as the epicyclic gear train. Then gear train will be known as the epicyclic gear train. What I am going to say, apart from the rotation of the gears, if any axis of the gear is in rotation with respect to some other axis, then we call it as the epicyclic gear. So I'm just writing here that apart from the rotation of the gear, we will do some questions based on the epicyclic gear. Not some a number of questions we will do. Apart from the rotation of the gears, if any gear axis, just read the statement, if any gear axis is in rotation with respect to some other axis some other axis, then we call it as, then the train will be epicyclic gear train. Then the train is known as epicyclic gear train. What it is? Epicyclic gear train. Okay, this is epicyclic gear train. This may be simple epicyclic, this may be compound epicyclic, this may be a reverted epicyclic, and so on. It may be simple epicyclic. You can see here, this is a diagram that is simple epicyclic. It may be compound epicyclic. We will do questions on every epicyclic. And it may be reverted epicyclic. Okay, and so on. Reverted epicyclic and so on. So that is the epicyclic gear train definitions. When a part of the rotation of the gears, since it is a gear S which is in rotation, and apart from that gear, another axis of the gear, that is axis of the gear P, is in rotation with respect to axis of the gear S. So that is known as the epicyclic gear train. And when this type of gear train is there, that means to rotate the axis of the gear, that means if you want to rotate the axis of the gear P with respect to axis of the gear S, then we need a link. We have to use a link, and this link is known as the arm and the carrier. You can call it as arm or you can call it as carrier. That means a link is used to rotate the axis of the gear P with respect to the axis of the gear S. I hope you are understanding the epicyclic gear train meaning. Okay, I'm just showing you the examples. It would be easy to understand. So here I'm just giving an example, that is a gear A and that is another gear B. Okay, this is gear and this is gear B. And since this is epicyclic gear train, that means it is a fixed gear. We have to fix this. Okay, it is in a rotation, and this gear, that means gear, this is gear A and this is gear B, and gear B is in rotation with respect to the axis of the gear A. Okay, gear A is in rotation on your own axis. Okay, but here gear B is in rotation with respect to gear A, right? That means we need a link, and that is known as the arm and the carrier. In order to rotate gear B with respect to gear A, we need an arm or a carrier. Okay, now we will see the possibilities for the rotation of the gear B. Okay, now what is given in the question? If it is given, we will see, we have to find out the rotation of the gear B as well as the direction of the gear A. Okay, so we will understand this in a proper manner. This is gear B. Now see here, what is given, I am just writing here. Given, see, gear B velocity, that means the rotation of the gear B in RPM, and the direction we will have to find out. So what is given? Given is that A is rotating 100 RPM, or you can say, first I'm considering this is 200 RPM, you can say any other RPM, just we are explaining. Okay, we are going to see how can we calculate the rotation of the gear B. So here it is given, for example, I am just writing here 200 RPM, and the direction is in clockwise. 200 RPM and the direction is clockwise. Okay, and if it is a direction that is in clockwise direction is in rotation, and B is in rotation with respect to A, that means arm is also having a rotation. Yes or no? So I'm just writing here that arm is having the, you can consider arm is having the 100 RPM clockwise. Okay, in the next possibility I'm just writing here that arm is in rotation with 200 RPM anti-clockwise. You can consider anti-clockwise. In the next case, I am considering arm is in rotation 300 RPM, that is also in anti-clockwise. See, now we will understand it. A is in first case I am considering, okay, arm is in rotation with 100 RPM in clockwise direction, and here gear A is in rotation 200 RPM in clockwise direction. Both are having in same direction. Okay, so we can write here the direction and the speed of the gear B would be 300 RPM. Here I am just writing here gear B 300 RPM, and what would be the direction? That is clockwise, because both are having in the clockwise direction. So that is clockwise. Okay, in the next case you can see here, first I'm considering that case and next I'm considering this case. So here A is in rotation 200 clockwise, here 200 RPM but in anti-clockwise direction arm having. So that is 200 minus 200, that is because both are in having different different direction. So that is 0 RPM. That means gear B will having 0 RPM. It is not in motion. It is not in rotation when this condition is there. Now the next and final condition, if arm is having 300 RPM with the anti-clockwise action, so this is anti-clockwise, this is clockwise, so we have to subtract because both are having in the different directions. So we will subtract, if I'm considering anti-clockwise as positive and the clockwise as negative, so we will do 300 minus 200, and that would be 100 RPM that gear B having, and whatever because here it is plus sign, that means, and we have assumed plus sign as anti-clockwise, that is anti-clockwise direction finally. So gear B is having 100 RPM and having in anti-clockwise direction. So here you can calculate the simple epicyclic gear train problems. You just have to see the direction and the magnitude of the gear A and see the direction and the magnitude of the arm, and you can calculate easily the direction and the magnitude of the gear B. Okay, you can assume clockwise as positive, you can assume anti-clockwise as positive as your own choices. It can be, you can consider it as positive, but whatever be, if you considering it positive, it would be negative. Okay, if you are considering it as negative, it would be positive. The directions depends on, you can assume on your own choices. I'm assuming here anti-clockwise as positive and clockwise as negative. Okay, so here you can see, when I am assuming the anti-clockwise as positive and this is negative, then we can calculate it. Negative and positive sign is just the showing you the direction. Okay, nothing else. This is not about magnitude, this is just about the direction of the gear A and B. Okay, if I got minus 300 rpm, that means that this is nothing but the clockwise. If in the question, let me show you the important points. If in the question you assumed positive as anti-clockwise and you assumed negative as clockwise, okay, and finally you will get the answer minus 200 rpm. For example, you get the answer minus 200 rpm. How you put the answer in the question? Sometimes they ask you the magnitude only. Read the questions and see what is being asked. Sometimes they ask you only magnitude, so don't put minus sign along with the magnitude. Okay, and if I'm talking about the objective questions like that ABCD, they will not showing you the minus plus sign. Generally they will show you the magnitude 200 anti-clockwise and 200 clockwise, like that 100 clockwise is like that they will give you the options. So minus signs, if you get the minus sign, you just have to go through that, you just have to go through the assumptions that you have assumed minus sign as clockwise, plus sign as anti-clockwise. Okay, so be careful with the sign, because in the gate examinations generally every year they ask you the questions based on that, and you don't make a mistake of the direction. Okay, because the probability the question will be wrong just because of the direction, so you just have to be careful about the direction. Okay, whatever be the assumptions you have assumed, give the answer according to that. Go through the assumptions properly, then put the answer finally. Okay, so I hope you will understanding. We will do some questions on that, it would be easy to understand. Okay.